and welcome back. In this episode, we will be discussing how to wear cymbals. Before we get started, I would like to just remind you guys that I will be trying to add any examples I can into the video. For any of the examples on screen, I'll be trying to add any text or notes onto the screen itself, so please pay attention to those if you see them. Now to put on the cymbals, you want to lay them flat on the ground with the logo of the leather straps facing up. Make sure that the straps are facing you and put your hands through the loops that they create. Your right hand should go through the loop where the right part of the strap is over the left, and your left hand should go through the loop where the left half of the strap is over the right. To actually put them on, point your thumbs down towards the cymbal itself and twist your wrist back and around the straps so that the straps themselves are on top of your hands. The straps should not be over your knuckles or should not be pinching the webbing between your thumb or your fingers. If they do either of these, take your hands out and try putting on the cymbals again, following the same instructions that I have already given you. The reason why you do not want the cymbals to pinch the webbing in your fingers is because that would just hurt in general. And the reason why you do not want the straps themselves to be over your knuckles is because that can actually hurt your hands over time, especially with the weight of the cymbals. While the cymbals are on, the front of your hand should always be touching the cymbals or the leather pad, either one. If they are not in contact with your hand, that means that the cymbals are too loose and that you'll have to restrap them, which I will cover later. The cymbals will be heavier than other handheld instruments like a horn, and definitely heavier than a pair of sticks, but they aren't so heavy that your arms will be exhausted after holding them. For the following part of the video, I'll be using a pair of sticks to illustrate everything that I would talk about when it comes to wearing the cymbals, especially the two cymbal positions that I will cover in this video. So while I'm talking about wearing cymbals, I'll show you guys two different positions that we use the most. So one is called set position and the other is called orchestral. Set position is where you go to when you're standing by waiting for instructions. For a set, you'll want to have your feet together, right, at a 45-degree angle. You're going to have your cymbals up to about your pocket levels or a little bit lower. The bell should be below your pockets, but the cymbals should be perfectly leveled front and back. So for a front on view, you'll see the cymbals are going to be straight on. You can't see the insides or the outsides. That's called flaring. So what you want to do is to have this straight on side profile with your elbows bent, arms off the body, and of course the cymbals straight in line with each other, same height, no distortions or flaring. Orchestral is the other position that I'm going to be talking about today. For this one, you're going to have the same posture as set. So back straight, feet together, about a 45-degree angle. Relaxed shoulders, of course. But unlike set, you're going to have the cymbals out in front of you rather than at your hips. For it, you'll have about a fist away from the body from your sternum level. And you're going to have the tops and the bottoms of the cymbal in line with each other. There should be about a 2-inch gap between the cymbals themselves. Your elbows are going to be out again. Of course, your arms are off your body. The cymbals are also going to have this sort of Boy Scout angle for kind of like a stash. So the top of the cymbals will be in line with your your left shoulder, my bad, and the bottoms are going to be in line with your right hip. So they should be in line at this 30-degree angle, or it's not really a 45, it's a little higher. But that is the angle that they should be at. Again, I'll put any examples on screen if I can find them. Anything that you'll see on screen applies to the definitions that we give out, but I would of course add any notes if there is a difference between what you see on screen and what we actually define in practice. I would also like to note, please leave a comment or something to tell me if you prefer these voiceovers over me actually being on screen on footage. Any reply helps, of course, and I just would like to make the cymbal series in general easier for you guys to listen to or pay attention to. I prefer doing voiceovers because it's a lot easier for me to record, as I can just read my script on screen, but of course if it's easier for you guys to just have me in front of a camera, I can do that too. For anybody wondering what's on screen when I show you guys these types of examples, I tend to put on drum corps, especially Santa Clara Vanguard and not Pulse. Pulse isn't a drum corps, but they are independent groups that are above the high school level, I'd like to put on these types of examples because they are the upper level of what cymbal players aspire to. But of course, you would not march at the same level as a drum corps while in high school typically. So I would just like to add these examples to show you guys just what cymbal players can do and what you can look forward to after playing cymbals for maybe a few seasons or years. Also, aside from Santa Clara Vanguard, I also put on Academy. They don't have a cymbal line anymore, but I thought when they did, it was still a very good cymbal line. Also, shout out to Cymbal Techniques 101 for the video footage of how to actually strap on cymbals. I didn't ask him for the footage, but putting on a cymbal is the same, no matter what. He just had the best example of it, and I just would like to thank him for that video footage. That is all for this episode. Come back next time where we'll talk about even more cymbal positions.